Okay, so let's not freak out yet, but imagine if this is a sign for GameCube games and Nintendo Wii games coming to the Nintendo Switch. That would mean playing games like Pokemon frickin' XD Gale of Darkness and Colosseum on the Switch is possible. Or, and I know this popped in everyone's head, the Metroid Prime trilogy. Just imagine the possibilities. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in 2020 and beyond. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click that red subscribe button below this video and that notification bell so you know when I upload. In this video, we're going to talk about some recent findings within Nintendo's Emulator, which I'll explain what the heck I mean by Nintendo's Emulator, and then I'll tell you what games I'd like to see come to the Nintendo Switch, and make sure you guys tell me yours in the comment section. Because I may do a top 10 or top 20 list on games that I think would be cool to come to Nintendo Switch from the Gamecube and Wii library, and I may have forgotten some of the games from that era. So the Super Mario 3D collection is indeed emulation, though Nintendo did spruce up some of the parts of the Mario games using various techniques, which is way better explained in the video by Digital Foundry, so go watch that if you have the time. But that's not really why we're talking about these games here in this video on Gamecube and Wii games hitting the Switch. The reason why I bring up the Super Mario 3D collection and its emulation is because it uses an emulator by Nintendo. Now, if you've ever used an emulator on PC, you know that they use ROMs that play pretty much any game from that platform that the emulator is trying to emulate. In other words, it's emulation, which could possibly, and I want to stress possibly, work on the Nintendo emulator. So like I said at the end of my last video, the Mario games being emulation could lead to more GameCube games and Wii games hitting the Nintendo Switch. Now recently, some people have taken a look inside Nintendo's emulator, specifically the code, and have found some interesting things. And this is what the tweet said that talked about what was inside that code and what it means for the Nintendo Switch. Interestingly, Nintendo GameCube/Wii U emulator appears to implement more GameCube and Wii GPU features than they needed. For example, bounding, mainly used in Paper Mario games, Z-Freeze, used in Mario Strikers, EA Sports games, and more. And also, he does put a note that says, "I'm not saying that these games are coming." Now he continues to go on to say this: "It seems like the NERD implemented a generic GameCube and Wii U emulator that can run any game, and then made specific builds that target Galaxy and Sunshine. Perhaps a sign to come. It isn't guaranteed, we'll have to see. I certainly hope at least." Now again, this doesn't mean necessarily that GameCube and Wii U games are coming to the Nintendo Switch, but it does point an arrow in that direction, or more gives Nintendo a chance to do it later down the line. But why is this important? Well, remember that Amazon listing of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword? Which video in the top right corner if you want to learn more about that, but Nintendo could be giving the same treatment as the Mario games to Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And that could be why that Amazon listing appeared, and that's how we're gonna get Skyward Sword on the Switch. It's about 8:28 in the morning right now, so I don't think I'm fully awake. Not only that, but Metroid Prime Trilogy has had some rumors over and over and over again, and this could also be the way they're coming back on the Nintendo Switch in the same fashion as the Mario games, because the Metroid Prime Trilogy does come from the GameCube and the Wii era. Now there is a drawback to this. This means that we won't get full remakes or bigger remasters with better looking textures and higher frame rates and other improvements, unfortunately. Now of course that doesn't mean that Nintendo won't ever do these full remakes like Link's Awakening, which was a fantastic remake. It looked beautiful on the Switch. But this does give Nintendo a chance to bring back older games that aren't going to be necessarily a full remake or remaster. But the great thing about this is it does not only bring back a lot of the games that we want to play back on the GameCube and the Wii U on the Switch, but it also brings back a small portion of the eShop called the Virtual Console. Now this is very different from the current Virtual Console that we have with the Nintendo Online service. Maybe they'll put it under a new name and not necessarily call it the Virtual Console, which would be really great because they can bring back a lot of classic games from the Wii U and even other emulators that they want to implement later, like Nintendo 64. So games like Pokemon Colosseum, XD Gale of Darkness, Mario Galaxy 2, all these games from the Nintendo, GameCube, and Wii era can come back on the Nintendo Switch, and you can maybe buy them separately, which would be fantastic. Now as for what games I would like to see, there are a ton of games. Like I said, the original Animal Crossing is one that I would like to see, Pokemon Colosseum, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Mario Galaxy 2 of course, which I wonder if this is why they didn't have that in that 3D pack. Maybe they wanted to bring Mario Galaxy 2 back on a Virtual Console. There are so many more games that I may not even be thinking about right now, so make sure you guys tell me what games you want to see from the Wii U and GameCube era on the Nintendo Switch in the comment section below. Now, as I've said before, this could be nothing, but it really does make you think. And by the way, before you leave, I do have a Twitter if you want to follow me on Twitter at Robo RoboRob93, and I also do have a Patreon. If you want to know more about that, it's in the pinned comment in the comment section. So what do you guys think about this? What games do you want to see? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to drop a like. It really helps the video out, and if you enjoyed this video and want more Nintendo news just like this, subscribe to RoboRob Gaming for more gaming news. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.